Good evening, Splinterlands. This is a voice of Agrod. It is a pleasure, as always, to be here on the AMA streaming with you. Tonight is a Friday, as it normally is. I don't even know the date. We're December 10th. I'm in Puerto Rico, so I'm not at my normal desk. Some of you might like the voice more. Some of you might like it less. But I'm down here schmoozing, socializing, chatting, talking, playing, working with a million people to go bring about a million different things. I am tired, I'm exhausted, and my voice is almost shot, not quite, but it's been party after party, frankly. But that's how crypto works, and I don't know. It's been amazing, and it's wonderful, and I'm a little bit tired, a little bit out of it, and we're going to do my best to try to provide you a excellent evening's entertainment and knowledge base. The one of the standard rules for this thing, though, that I hope everybody understands is that this is being recorded and this is being streamed, and we are chatting in the town hall chat channel, and it's my request that people keep this PG-13. For those that are not able to abide by that request, you will find yourself kicked and or banned. Maybe not permanently, but certainly during the times that we're streaming. This is important to us. So you are allowed any opinion that you want about the game or the people or the whatever, but we just ask that you say these things professionally. Try to keep personal insults out, even if you're feeling them, and that's it. In terms of the way that that these town halls go, we start with the first hour really just being the team members just talking about what we're working on and what it is that we're planning and what it is that we're all doing, which in large cases is really just like futzing around with Chaos Legion, because we're all a bunch of nerds. We all love this, and we're all doing that. After we've done that, then sometime in the second hour, we'll do any of the questions that have been left in the AMA section. LibertyLass has gone through and gathered up those questions, and then we'll have an opportunity to answer those. And then lastly, for the absolute stragglers who either have last-minute questions or have some desire to just like spontaneously have a new question to ask, everybody will have a chance towards the end of this. So that's my life. My life is all about trying to bring in new people, new money, new intellectual property, new ideas into this, help grow this team, and turn us from a single.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Who is that? Okay, never mind. Anyways, we're gonna keep going here, and it's just awesome. I mean, we're really trying to build something pretty fantastic. I was speaking at Coin Agenda last week. I was at the Central Miami, and there's just like a million events down here, and they're all pretty awesome. So that's what I have for you guys. Richard, are you here? Do you want to go say hi and talk to the people?
Sure, I'm here. It's Hardpoint, Richard, aka everything. We had a great Chaos Legion launch this week. That was pretty fantastic. I know the community did. I think I've been having a lot of fun opening packs this week. Randomly getting a gold foil Desert Dragon, which was actually my highlight after the launch of my leak. So everybody had some fun with us on there, but it's been great. We had such a good response from the community. If you go look at those peak monster charts, wow, look at that market volume. I think it's really exciting to see that kind of thing and see how everybody's doing on it. We got some fun things coming up. We're going to get an update from one of our developers in a little bit. And wow, just like I said, I kind of shared this with the community this week. It's been really humbling just being a part of such a great and wonderful team. There's also so many people behind the scenes that are going into making this thing a reality and doing consistently better and better how we do across the board. So that's just really exciting, and I'm really thankful. Especially thank you for the community. And guys, we're just really glad you're here. Glad you're joining in, having a lot of fun playing the new cards. And just thank you. A big shout out to our Mavs who did a bunch of QA testing for us last week as well. You guys are killing it, and we appreciate you guys for supporting us all this time. So thank you. And Matt, you want to say hi real quick?
Yeah, hey everybody. Yeah, this has just been a fantastic week. I've also enjoyed opening my Chaos Legion packs with everybody else, and hopefully just kind of indicative of the way things are going and the direction things are going in the future. And there's just we've talked over and over about all the cool things coming up in 2022, and I feel like Chaos Legion kind of kicked us off in the right direction, even though it's a little before 2022. But we're gonna. I really think the modern format, which we're hoping to get out in January or latest February of next year, is really going to shake things up a lot. It's really going to make a much more fair playing field for the newer players, or just generally players who don't have the alpha and beta Essence Orb promo cards. Those players will still be able to participate in the wild format and kind of have their own reward pool. But I think it'll just really kind of shake up the general meta of the ranked season play. So I'm really excited for that. Obviously there's the general sale, and then we're going to be going hardcore into land development. Starting in Q1 of next year. So that's obviously, in my opinion, the most exciting thing that we've kind of ever done since Splinterlands launched. So that's going to be really big. In the meantime, my main focus has been on the SPS validator / Oracle software that'll be available for anyone to run, and then players will be able to vote on the top validators to validate transactions and validate proposals through SPS governance system and all that stuff. So I'm really excited for that. I think it'll be a really good step in the right direction for the whole plan of SPS governance, and really hoping that we'll have some type of initial test version available by the end of the year or early January. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. I guess I should say, while I'm down here, I've been trying to put together some of the like side deals, or not side deals, but like the volume discount sales that we announced. And we're getting up to the first like million packs. A lot of this is like people are waiting till I guess a post said you would have more time, but I probably need to get another post out that like we're going to close the volume discount sales by the end of the year. So the last real day that we'll be taking any new orders is December 28th. So it's been pretty awesome to go see just how many packs people are purchasing and new groups coming in, and so I'm like right around 1 million packs. It's a little bit less, but gearing up towards 1 million. And then I think like there's a couple extra million of like people that want to do the volume discount, but they're waiting till closer to the end of the year before they participate because they don't want to miss out on airdrops and other things that they're doing. But that to me is pretty exciting, and it's good to see that kind of like that volume and just a lot of appetite for cards, and a lot of like new players. Like these are not folks that like, some of them are guys that have been here forever, and then some of them are like, I've never met this person. This is a brand new guild. This is a brand new group. This is really exciting. So I don't know. That to me is just, we have a certain vantage point, running this game, but we're still left here trying to like sift through the tea leaves and figure out, how much demand is there, how much player growth is there, what are we doing to facilitate and grow this ecosystem. And we have a lot of levers and tools that we can look at, but it's exciting. It's exciting to see like the bigger sales come in and people buying and people excited for what we're doing. So that's some of like the other things that I've been working on while I'm down here, just trying to keep that all together. Is Nate here? Nate, anything you wanna add? Is Nate muted?
Nate is where? Hold on. I think Nate's looking a little muted there. Poor Nate. Well, Nate's getting on here, which
There we go.
there we go. Got it.
Yep. So
Maybe he
yeah,
can
I guess
unmute.
we should unmute everyone when we start the town hall
Yeah.
section.
Yeah. Sorry, Nate.
No problem. So no, that's exciting. It's exciting to hear all the growth and everything that's going on. I know growth internally. I'm actively doing interviews for a lot of the creative side right now. The narrative team is really coming together in order to um, just embellish upon the story, the foundation that we're building. And what's exciting about that isn't just adding flavor to Chaos Legion. It has more to do with establishing the groundwork, the foundation that we're going to use to jumpstart everything that's happening in Pretoria, including the land expansion. So that's even more exciting because everyone's been waiting for land. Hey, win land, win land. And as we start to, not today, but as we sneak peek more and more about what we're doing with land, you're going to see that the stories with Chaos Legion and all the work that the narrative team has been putting into those stories are going to bleed into land. So when you get that plot in Pretoria, and you're claiming it, and you're claiming the deed. You're turning that claim in for an actual deed, where there's an actual plot located in Pretoria with specific coordinates, and you zoom in to see where that plot is, and you go, "Whoa! I have a plot near the town of New Everett, which I read about in some story back when. This is where this character did this heroic thing, and this is so cool, and it's going to add a whole nother level, I think, to owning land. And it might even impact the price being near one of these epic storylines. So that should be pretty cool. So I'm really excited about what the narrative team's doing. And I'm excited to hear from one of our narrative designers pretty soon here on the town hall tonight. So it should be fun.
Let's get them in just a second. But you dropped like a 16-minute story that about the Splinterlands and the journey that the hero was on. Do you want to go talk about that at all and just tell? It was a YouTube video, but talk about that a little bit. What are we building? Why are we building it? Why is this lore like part of what we're doing?
Oh, absolutely. So we want to make it so that well, let's back up a little. Let's explain where we came from. Splinterlands originally was just a simple card game. And as we add more and more features and more functionality and more depth to the ecosystem, it's becoming less and less of just a card game. And what I mean by that is if you play a game like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone or any typical card game, there's a sense of detachment. I guess maybe that's the word. You feel very much like that is exactly what you're doing, is playing a card game. When land is released, this is really going to be the first step towards opening things up well beyond card game. And we've been setting the stage, the narrative team has been setting the stage to where we can easily make that transition from you're playing a card game to no, you're a battle mage. I mean, when you go play and you play the battle on the screen, what I'd like to do is when we get closer and closer to Battles 2.0, I want the player to feel less like they're participating in a card game and more like they are being pulled into the game as an actual battle mage, because that's the player journey that we are creating, is that you have a place within this Splinterlands, and that's going to become even more real to you when you go set up a plot of land and set up shop within the Splinterlands.
So now tie that back to the story.
Oh yeah, definitely. So as we create this storyline behind the card set, Chaos Legion, what's happening right now? You're reading these stories and you say, "Hey Nate, that's cool. I mean, that's cool to read about. That's neat. it makes me want to go buy that card more, not just because of the stats, because I know the story behind that character, and that's cool. But wait until the day where you log into the game and you are pulled in and you're looking at ground level at a building that you're constructing. They're within the Splinterlands. And now the stories are going to matter much more to you. You're going to be like, okay, are there demon creatures overhead that I need to be concerned about? Or if I decide to leave my little building and go on a quest in the wild in between all the regions and tracks and plots, how is the story affecting my day? How's the storylines and all the plots and subplots and layers and depth affecting my ability to complete my quests or do what I want to do in this virtual world? So my vision, at least creatively, is to make the world feel more and more and more real to the player, to the point to where they feel like they're living this story as someone who exists within the Splinterlands, not just sitting at a table playing a card game any longer. And I think that there's a lot of cool stuff planned. There's a lot of stuff that we want to do, and it all starts with the stories. And that's why I'm so excited. I'm not going to get too deep into the storyline about that sixth story that just came out, but I will, because I'll let Joey do that. But what I'm going to do is say, hey, look, when Joey came to me with this story, because the narrative team was like, okay, we want to put out a story every single week, and Joey was right there. He's like, I'll be first. I have it in my head. I have this inspiration. I know what I'm going to do. I'm like, what are you going to do? And when he told me, I was like, wow, that's pretty ambitious. It's more ambitious than probably the previous stories, but heck, let's do it. So he went and did it, and at the same time, while he was finishing up the story, I was thinking more and more about the audio, because it's been brought up before, particularly by one of our Mavericks, AJ Brockman. He had DM'd me about story time, about adding voice acting. And so I had been a little slammed at the time, so I didn't pursue it. But I was like, this is a good time. So we went ahead and I contacted who I knew to be an excellent voice actor, because he had sent a demo reel when we were first looking for help creatively. And I told him, hey, I'm going to stay in touch with you because you're really good. So, hey, the opportunity presented itself. The guy had excellent turnaround. And I think we've had nothing but positive reviews from everybody about how much they love the voice acting. He really brought Joey's story to life. And then add that with Asaria's talented and beautiful and almost haunting music in the background. And it was just like a recipe for us perfection. And then, of course, we displayed on that YouTube video we have a concept artist who does just amazing art. He's responsible for a good portion of the backgrounds, the wallpapers that I share a lot of the time. And he illustrated that concept art for the stories. And I think that meshed well as well. So I think that over time, I'd like to further improve our multimedia capability. But geez, I thought that was a great start, I thought.
All right, I think that's a good time. Maybe we can go introduce the author, and maybe you can share a little bit about who you are, what you do, what got you attracted to the Splinterlands, and what is it that what's your vision for like the lore and what we're doing inside of the game world?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
All right, so my name is Joey Schmerdla. My in-game name is BreakingBenjamin. I was in the U.S. Army for 23 years as a helicopter pilot and operations analyst, and I've also got a couple books published on Amazon they've done all right. I started playing Splinterlands in August, and I absolutely fell in love with the game and the passion of the team behind it, and I've pretty much been all in ever since. So when Nate sent out the call for creatives, I jumped at the chance. This is pretty much my dream job, and I'm super thankful to Nate and the rest of the team for creating such an awesome environment to work in. The attention to detail you see is just incredible, and then at the same time, the leeway that we get to work on what we're passionate about. So as Nate said, I work as a narrative designer on the narrative team. I wrote War Begins. So just talk a little bit about what we do on the narrative team. We're responsible for coming up with the card concepts and the lore and the background behind them, and then we also, like Nick mentioned, work on the land, world building, short stories, hopefully novels in the future, and ultimately we want to bring Splinterlands to life and really immerse you in it so that you feel like you're part of this entire world. So yeah, War Begins. I think it's the sixth story in what we're calling the Tome of Chaos. Ashley and Scott Ropel wrote the first five, and they did a great job setting the stage for what's about to happen next. And if you haven't read their stories, you're definitely missing out. Anyway, War Begins is about the first major naval battle between the Splinters and the Chaos Legion. And then hats off to the artists, Nateaguila, Majewski, and the voice actor David Dada, who really just brought the whole thing to life and took what I had written to a whole nother level. Moving forward, you're going to see more of Rick Loneman. You're going to see more of Fia from Creepin' and Barra Dallin and her pals from Defend. And I think you're going to find that the Splinterlands lore will introduce you to new characters that aren't necessarily like political leaders or military commanders, but average people like you and me who find themselves caught up in this whole struggle against the Chaos Legion, and they either become heroes and legends or they die. If you've been reading the lore, you're probably wondering where exactly the Chaos Legion came from, why they're here, what's happened to the Wizards Council, who is this Silas of the Rift dude and his dark buddy god Uhl, and what are they planning, and what's going to happen with these ginormous frickin' tentacles erupting out of Mount Praetorius, and never mind how the Rift Watchers fit into this whole thing. So if you want answers, keep your eye on the Tome of Chaos. That's published on peak.com or peakd or however you say that. Anyway, that's it for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your creativity, and thanks for choosing to spend your time and your effort here.
Thank you.
You know, my kids listen to this app and like at bedtime. We used to like read them stories all the time, but then they wanted like a little bit more adultness, and so it's an app that just has like 50, maybe 150 stories on it, and there's just an actor that just reads through them all. As I'm like sitting there listening to this, I'm like, we need like our own audio app where like all of the history and all the tome and everything that we build for the Splinterlands is like available, and like parents can go pass this off to their kids and they can go hear stories of heroes and villains and bravery and fear and greed and all the different like range of emotions that our characters will have, that our community might have. And just my vision for this thing, I keep getting some scope creep because I want so many of these projects that are like successful card games don't just stay card games. They don't always go in this direction, but they'll start as media, like animated series or comic books or something, and then they'll go turn into trading card games or the vice versa of that. But I really just want to hear these stories, and I want to learn about these characters, and I want to I literally want I want like a theme park or like an island or something. And then at some point when like, we go down there and you're wandering around, you're on Praetoria, and like, there's just so many different people that are like basically LARPing or play acting. And, I don't know. So there's a lot of different things that I think that we can do. Nate is charged with doing all of them. And I'm really just excited to see what we can create and just how many different ways we can pour our creativity into something that can be immersive for our audience so that they can be just entertained and just feel like part of a community and feel like they have this common lore and story that they can draw from and feel connected to these characters. They're like, some people just say you can't just leave, and like you can't walk away because I have this like affinity for the Lord of Darkness because I keep thinking of him as like administrator of darkness, and like the poor guy just has to go like run all of Mortis, and like he's this big dude. Maybe he's all that. He just had to go run. And so that's my like take on him. I know that's not really the thing, but that's what I think of. And like that, because of that, it's become one of my favorite cards. And so like the way that the lore weaves in and out of these stories, like that's what binds us to these characters emotionally. And it's like that irrational emotional piece is so much of what binds us as a community. So,
So
Joey,
if we
thank
do
you.
get an island, can we get an airlines that's called the FOMO Airlines? Because then
FOMO
you
Express.
ride the FOMO Express. There we go. So you can ride the FOMO Express to the Pretoria.
Yeah, I mean the whole island thing is not out of the total mix of things. I mean, um, this game is growing and this community is growing, and there's so many people um, that are here and are excited. And like as we've been able to go earn some more money, it means that we can take some more risks as a business in terms of hiring more devs and hiring more creatives. I mean, do you want to? Will you speak to that a little bit, Richard? Like, can you talk a little bit just about like what does our dev organization look like? And I think we have Kbux in here too. Maybe he can kind of talk through some of what he's doing, but just like give us a sense of the organization, because it takes time for the things that we do to manifest and appear. But roughly speaking, even with like all the sort of ancillary things we're doing, there's like a multiple of just how many people we have on this project, just relative to a couple months ago. So maybe you can talk to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Matt were talking about this recently, actually. I think, or me, it was me and you. One of us was talking about, what's happening in Q1, and we started listing off all the people that we have on the roster now and that have come online, and we quickly we're talking about multiple projects running in parallel. And you asked me, you're like, well, what about Splinterlands? And how are we going to focus on that? And I was like, well, we got probably 3 or 4 times the resources on deck doing Splinterlands that we had during the summer. And I think that's amazing to me, to think about just the capacity that's being brought online to develop more of this platform, to build out, you said scope creep, but there's, building an island, maybe not in Q1, but definitely, definitely some really cool things. Like Matt said, we're talking about land, and, even for Matt to even say that land is in Q1, I think is a moment, a landmark moment for us, because I don't think Matt was saying that about 3 months ago.
No.
So
it's going to be starting to really get worked on in Q1, not released.
No, I know. I just think it's really cool though, because the energy on the team, I think, Matt, you reflect that, right? Is when we were sitting down to Chaos Legion, Aggie wasn't able to because he was traveling. We were talking about how smooth this release was, right? How big this release was. Crytomancer, Nate, and a lot of the other devs that worked really hard. Well, all of the devs worked hard, but like all of them focusing on that made that possible, made that release possible as smooth as we've ever had for a major release. And I think that's just, I think more than anything, that says to the community just what's changing in Splinterlands is that we're able to do that. So we're up of over 13 developers right now dedicated to building really cool DeFi tech here. We got a lot of cool ideas of a lot of different ways to make this happen. Speaking of that, you talk about how do you show signs of the dev organization's growth? Well, look at our release notes. If you guys go look at our release notes, you'll notice that there's this increasing trend and frequency of just how much is actually being released every single week, and actually deploying sometimes multiple times a week. So I think that's just really a testament to just that capacity spinning up here and starting to really hit home. And as we kind of looking forward just a little bit, our next big milestone is the general sale. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like we went from releasing 1.5 million packs with Untamed to releasing 15 million packs with Chaos Legion. And we're going to release at the general sale something close to 12 million packs at once on one day. I mean, that makes the devs, we sort of sweat under the collar. Is that going to be a big day where everybody just comes to buy a lot of packs, and we're going to have a lot of pack openings? So we're actually, all the devs' heads right now, I just met with them this morning, and I was like, guys, we need to make this happen, and it needs to be as smooth as we possibly can. So that's really where the team's focus right now is, like getting that general sale all set for the general sale, really adding in the stuff for scale. But guess what? That's not all we're doing. While that's happening, Matt and myself, and actually, speaking of just talk about capacity, Homestead Hacker came in and was helping us with moderation lead and has been helping us organize our social media platforms. But he did such an amazing job. We've pulled him deeper and deeper into the organization. And he's actually starting to help us build out our business analyst role and our project management role. And he's been helping me, really working really close with me. And what that means for us is actually working through in detail SPS governance with Matt. We're really getting all that specs laid out. We have a bunch of cool ideas. We started throwing some things out there for the community to see in the last month. And now we're starting to really talk about the reality that looks like maybe in January might be a reality, or February. So it's definitely something we're doing. And not only that, when we came out last month and we said, hey guys, we really care about your feedback. We really want to start making improvements to the platform. We dropped a totally new website out there called feedback.splinterlands.com. And if you guys go out there, you'll start noticing that our change notes are aligned with your guys' requests. And we're starting to hit some of your guys' major asks out there. Very excited about that, because that's something we care about. We care about you. You guys are the value. The community is the value. The players are the value. And we're doing what we can to start making you have the cool little tweaks that you've always wanted in the game, but we haven't had the capacity to do. We have capacity now to start making those things happen. And I think that's really cool. When you look at that and you start seeing a dev organization start to function, start to move forward. And guys, I just want to say this, like, it's exciting. Being on this team is exciting. The guys that we've hired in the last couple of months are literally, I've been doing development over 24 years. These are the top guys in the industry that I've ever worked with. It is exciting to get in a room with them and talk about how do we make this platform amazing? How do we build out better capacity for scale? How do we make better interaction with the players and better support with our bridges between other chains? It's really exciting. And it's just one of those things that just kind of every morning I wake up and throw myself back at this just because I'm really excited where we're going, who's on the team. And it's not even that just the devs, guys. I just want to say I get to work very closely with our support team, the guys that help the community when we have issues and when there's something broken. Those guys are amazing. I love talking to Biz and all the support team out there. So guys, you got to keep just pumping the team up, keep dropping some of your love out in the channels. Just really appreciate it, and really excited to see where it's going to go over the next bit. And more than that, why don't we bring on Kbux? Hey, Kbux, you there? I think I unmuted you.
That's what I was
Hey,
thinking.
Hardpoint.
Hey, so tell us a little bit what the life in a developer here is like this last week.
Oh, it's been the coolest week of my career.
That's what I love to hear.
Easily.
That's great. And why is that? What happened?
I think just the excitement of the launch, and this. I mean, I've been a gamer since I was 6, and I've stayed up and I've taken a week off work for launches of different games, and to be able to be involved in that, at the same time, staring at 10 different graphs starting at midnight and seeing how they all go and watching every single tick, making sure things are on point. The duality of the excitement and the kind of like making sure everything's good is just that kind of like had me jittery all night.
Yeah, the apprehension, right? Like, oh crap, this better roll out smooth.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people.
But I mean, the last couple months we've been doing. It's like it's not one big tweak. It's been 1,000 little tweaks to the system. We felt really good going into it, but you just my brain wouldn't let me get too comfortable. I just needed to stay on.
So one of the things I've said is, like, if you were to go print out the entire code base of Splinterlands, it's like as big as War and Peace. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely. It's so cool, and the code is cool. I mean, because it's like just digging through. It's like there's market code, and there's battle code, and there's events code, and there's tournaments, and like it's so cool to like. It's like you're looking through the game into how all the pieces work. That part's been so cool to see.
So what? So you have that anticipation as like a new, as a gamer, but also rolling it out. Like, what did you think of the rollout? Were there technical parts of this that could have been done better, or did we nail it? And then, like, what if that is now out? What is your next big project that you are tackling?
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm definitely a plan for the worst kind of guy, and then everything after that is good. So I was thrilled how it went. I mean, I could give you 1,000 little things I wish I went that kind of wish went better. But when I look at people were able to open packs, people were playing battles. I was actually watching both our stream on YouTube, but kind of like I had a couple of other streams and I was unmuting each one at the time of different streamers playing the game just to get that kind of real live insight and how people were watching and playing. Yeah, I was thrilled, and I didn't see any huge hiccups. Given the amount of activity, the activity was unreal. We went from like something like 1.4 million market items to over 3 million market items in a few hours. Um, and the system handled it, and I was just so thrilled that the system handled it.
So how is it doing? Is the market? Are we going to be able to sustain this? Are we one pack away from doom? Where are we at?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, we have these testing environments, we have these development environments, and now that we feel good about where we're at, and we had to do a little bit of a lift on the back end of the market. So as people saw little issues, reporting those issues in tech support's been really helpful for us. We've been able to kind of like tweak little things. Like today, we put out a little tweak around the low price of a certain card was showing something weird. So we were able to get that fixed. There is no like problem here that we can't fix. And I was just thinking, we might see 1 million of a particular card, or 500,000 of a particular card listed in the market. Those are the things we'll be testing this week in our testing environment. And if it doesn't work, we'll fix it and we'll be ready.
Awesome. So what is that your next priority, or what is your, as you're sifting through the code and sifting through the goals of our team, like what is your next baby? What are you trying to, how do you see your job here? Not just what is your like next priority for, like, here's this task, go do this, but it's like,
Yeah.
what's your vision, and what are you trying to ensure happens here?
I mean, at my core, I want Splinterlands to be a place that developers love to be at and love to be at for a long time. So, what developers love is they love feedback. So, I've been focused on one thing they love is feedback. So, I've been focused on that deployment speed that Richard and Hardpoint mentioned. So, we can deploy our code many times a week and it's no big deal. So, we can get those quality of life fixes. We can get little bug fixes. We can kind of just continuously be updating the system. That's kind of at my core is what I care about, because the more devs love working here, the cooler the game gets. On top of that, I want to play this game every day. So the more stable it is, the more it scales, the faster we can get land out, the faster we get the modern and wild format out. Actually, the modern wild format is something I'm probably most excited about because my alpha and beta decks are not that strong. So it's kind of, I feel like when people say it's kind of like the new player's chance, I feel like I'm that person, and I find
Nice.
yeah, it's going to help a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, go on, Richard.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I think a lot of what the fun thing is with all of us devs is we're jumping in at bronze, and I think if you go and you could find all the dev accounts, you'd be like bronze and silver, and we're all stumbling it through. I don't know if Chatter's here. Chatter, you around? We were just talking about this. You unmuted? Are you muted right now? Hold on a second. Let me see if he's muted. Yeah, you're server muted. Hold on a second. There you go. You're on server muted. So you there, Chatter?
I'm here.
Yeah, so we were just talking about that. Do you want to tell them what we're thinking?
Well, let
Yeah.
Chatter, please introduce yourself real quick, and then tell us what you're thinking.
For sure, yeah. So I'm the director of growth here at Splinterlands, kind of just helping out on the marketing side of things. Also the only team member who can't grow a beard on the team, so a little bit of a hurt to my pride there, but otherwise doing well. But yeah, no, what Richard and I have been talking about is potentially kicking off a learning stream. So taking out kind of Biz and Brybro and all the other support members who are already super good at the game and teaching us regulars or newbies how to play.
Yeah, teaching us how to get out of bronze. We need some tips. And we were thinking, it's all about that new player experience. That's something like a lot of the old timers have been worried about when we've been talking to them, is like, how do we really help onboard people into this game? And the game is quite sophisticated when you get into it. On the face of it, it's like some cards, but then you start getting all the rule sets, get in all the levels. There's a lot of stuff to learn here. We were thinking it would be really fantastic if we could get a series up on YouTube that people could follow through and watch and really start at bronze and really find their way up into those higher levels of the game. Especially as Chaos Legion launches, what's really cool about it is there's going to be a real opportunity for a lot of people to buy some packs at a real affordable place and be able to jump in the game and really enjoy it. I know there's a lot of people waiting for that, so we're really excited to see that happen. So, and I mean, you say about, I know there's a lot of FOMO about people selling out. I mean, our intention, honestly, is not to have the card pack sell out day one. We want new players to come into the game. We want new blood here to be able to enjoy the platform. So, I mean, obviously, we can't stop everyone from buying it up, but we're definitely excited to see a lot of new players join when the packs become more affordable. So, and to have a lot of great content for them to learn how to play the game. But that kind of brings us back around, back around to Kevin real quick. Kevin, maybe you can say, just what's it like with the dev team and playing the game, and you came from a corporate environment. What's the difference to you when you come from a corporate environment and all of a sudden you're in this world where everybody's passionate and everybody's playing the game, they're loving the game? What is the difference to you?
I think just we just talk about the game all day. We're not talking about the local sports team. We're not talking about something somebody read on Twitter. I think that's the biggest difference is, we talk about the code, but then we talk about the game, and then we talk about ideas and crazy ideas around rule sets, and then we talk about what other cool things could we do with land. It's just the obsession of the dev team is real, and it's different than anything I've experienced.
Fantastic.
So, I have a theory that this game is like crack for devs. I mean, I know a lot of people like playing it, and they like playing it repeatedly. But I didn't realize, when I designed this thing, I didn't understand the developer life cycle and the sort of just how much you have to write some code, test it out, review it a bunch, come back and reiterate on that.
Mm-hmm.
And normally in a dev career, the speed of doing that is probably not measured in 3-minute intervals. But when you get to play Splinterlands, this game is very much like puzzle solving, competitive puzzle solving. But so much of what you're doing is really coding how your team should operate. This tank, this healer, this DPS, that crowd control in this order, because I'm anticipating that. And I didn't design it this way, but when I saw the reaction amongst all these different types of people that come in, it is wildly entertaining, in particular to developers. That's been my experience watching this.
Yeah, 100%. I think when I first started playing, I was looking for the YouTube video or website that said, what's the 3 best decks? And I'll just go use those. And because that's what I'm used to with every game I've played before this.
Yeah.
And the fact that the rule sets are so different. As soon as I saw the reverse speed rule set, I'm like, oh man, okay, this is different. Right? Because it's even those really slow, bad cards can be so powerful.
And what's interesting is, Matt, can you tell us a little bit how land is going to impact the game and make that even more interesting?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of before land was even thought about, the idea was to add these new kind of cards to the game, these items of spell cards. So after you pick your team with your summoner and your monsters, then you submit it, you see your team and your opponent's team on the battlefield. So the idea is now you get another kind of round before the battle actually takes place, where you can equip items and you can cast spells. So it's basically like, now that both teams have picked their cards, you have to review the battlefield, quickly, and make changes basically through the items and spells, and say, oh man, they have a lot of magic damage and I didn't plan for that, or whatever. They have a lot of sneak guys, and my back line is really bad. What spells, what items can I use to try to fix that? And then at the same time, your opponent's going to be looking at the exact same thing. And they're going to be, so you're going to, there's that like anticipation, like, oh, my opponent, he or she is, probably going to do X, Y, Z. Let me try to counter that or whatever. So, that's in my opinion going to take the game and the skill and strategy element of it to a whole nother level. Also make it, much more difficult for bots, in my opinion, as it's going to be much harder to do that evaluation of the battlefield step for a bot than a human. And then, rather than just go ahead, okay, we'll just sell these packs with these new cards in it. We kind of came up with this whole entire land idea to let the players mint the cards, right? And so I think just the new cards themselves are really cool and really advance the game in a lot of ways. But then the fact that it's going to be this land system where the players, the end goal of land is to mint these actual cards, which have actual value in the sense that there is a player base that will want them and need them to play the game. And that to me is still pretty unique, even in the world of blockchain games and land, land and blockchain games, that there's actually something that they're producing, a good that is, desirable by people, which very much mimics, real world economies, right? You have land and factories and resources, and the goal of all that is to produce some type of good or service that people want and need. So I don't know. It's just like, it's so many different things all coming together into what I would just call awesomeness. And it is, I share everybody's frustration that we keep talking about this week after week and how cool it is. And then it's not here, and we don't have the timelines for it yet. And that's why I'm also so excited for Richard and then all the new people we have on board. So like this can actually happen, and it's like it's not, oh, it's going to happen, but like it had to be pushed back because there were server problems, or it had to be pushed back because we also want to do this, or whatever, something happened. It's like, no, we can just do all those things at the same time. And it's really just like going to happen, and we have plenty of people to deal with any other stuff that might come up in the future. But it's, not only is just the land itself cool, but what it's adding to the game is going to be just really awesome.
All right. Sorry.
Are there other folks that I need to bring on? I don't have the full agenda in front of me. Am I missing? I want to be wary of time.
Absolutely. I think that's it, though.
Okay. Then, well, let's keep Jen. Oh.
The chatter, did you have anything specific you wanted to share tonight?
Yeah, I was going to leak a few updates if that's okay, if I can take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's good.
Great. I mean, just kind of hearing out what the rest of the community has been saying, just want to say there's a few things in the works right now on the marketing side of things. So first off is Splinterfest. Official planning is underway. We're looking at a Q2 or Q3 kickoff for that. So hopefully you guys can all come and attend and meet each other and have a big kind of fun little event. Location is TBD. We've looked at Vegas and a couple other places as locations, but again, that's not kind of rock solid yet. So more to come on that side of things. And then the other thing I want to kind of talk about is tournaments. So we're partnering up with Zen Sports to kick off a kind of annual or year-long tournament next year in 2022. So what that's going to look like is monthly tournaments. Each one of those will have prize pools, and at the very end, there's going to be a ladder system for each one of those monthly tournaments, leading to a championship tournament at the very end, where there's going to be a huge prize pool for that. So look out for that and announcements to come in the next couple of weeks here. And then lastly, we're also going to be doing a one-off tournament with Zen Sports 2. That'll be probably January, which is just going to be Chaos Legion only packs. So you guys will get to kind of look at the gameplay and see the new cards and how everything's interacting for some of our best players.
Now, is that in the field of esports? Are we doing esports yet? Can we say that as a company?
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually hiring an esports manager right now, and so if anyone's looking to potentially join the Splinterlands team, we're hiring 2 positions right now. One is the esports manager. I think that partnership with Zen Sports is going to be really the first kind of testing and stepping stone to really propel us into the esports realm. And then we're going to be looking to actually develop and build our own esports league internally too. And so kind of following the steps of what Hearthstone's done and what League of Legends and all those other esports have done, we're going to hopefully be doing the same and be kind of talked about in that pool of mainstream games there. And then the other,
why is that?
sorry,
hold on. Why is that important? Why are we doing that? Like, what? How does that fit in? I mean, we have like a development roadmap. Where does like esports isn't part of development? Why would a company do it? What is the benefit to the community? And like, what should players be excited about by this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the main thing is really branching into the mainstream gaming. Splinterlands, sorry, not right now, not Splinterfest, is so focused on kind of exploring that blockchain gaming side of things, getting the people who are already invested in the crypto side of things, the blockchain gaming side of things. It's a very easy transition, but I don't think a lot of the mainstream kind of gaming populace knows too much about Splinterlands right now. So I think getting that esports and getting kind of in those top 10 placements on Twitch and having all those tournaments, yada, 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 are going to help us really propel us into that new cohort and new demographic. So ideally, that's going to kind of grow our game twofold in the next year or so.
Awesome. All right, I want to let Mancer on because Mancer has been, when we talk about a smooth rollout, a lot of the code that got rolled out was, Crytomancer's baby here. So Mancer, I have unmuted you. Are you there? Are you able to come unmute yourself and pop in the chat? There you are.
Hi guys, yep, I'm here. So it's been a very exciting week, of course. I've been sharing all the excitement along with you guys. It's really great to see that Chaos Legion rolled out very smoothly, as I had hoped it would. For those of you who don't know, I'm the main developer who's been doing a lot of the Chaos Legion stuff. So I integrated a lot of the designs in various places on the web pages. I did the shop screen, made sure the cards are actually working from a technical standpoint, and developed the new abilities. So I've been involved with Chaos Legion for a few months now since we started working on it. And going forward, now that it's launched, the next big thing for me is going to be working on the modern and wild ranked formats. So that's going to be a really big thing. And I'd say it's too early to really give a definitive timeline on that yet. We're hoping for as soon as possible, and definitely Q1. But the development for that is still in the very early stages. There's a lot to be done. So we'll be sharing more news and more information on that as we get a bit further along in that process. And I think next year is going to be really fantastic. We got the land coming up. I'll probably be working on that a bit as we transition into that. So yeah, it's been a really exciting way to finish off the year here with the Chaos Legion launch, and a lot more good stuff to come.
Yeah. I'm stoked. Thank you for your hard work, and the dev team I feel is killing it. And actually, one last thing I want to talk about before I sort of move into some questions is Nate. A lot of having more developers doesn't get us super far without having creative be in a position to provide enough content to make sure that the dev team is busy. Can you tell us a bit of like, what is the state of the Splinterlands creative team? Can you give me a sense of like the organization that you've built so far and kind of like the next steps of where you think it's headed?
Oh yeah, sure. So hopefully, I hope that most of the players are happy with the the elevation of overall production value that we've given to the game as we progress from one set to the next. So we just try to, strive to get better and better and better. So with Chaos Legion, the pack opening scene looks cooler. The card frames are cooler. The art is cooler. Everything, even the shot page and the interactions and the features, the functionality, the story page that complements the chat page. We basically try to take where we were, and with the additional members of the team that we've been able to bring on so far, hopefully elevate that to a whole nother level. And to me, that's just a taste. That's a taste of what's to come. I think the players are going to be really happy with the fact that we're not just sitting back and saying, okay, well, this is the new standard. No, we're not done pushing the standard up higher. So that's going to involve bringing on more and more and more creative people. I just had an interview earlier today with a UX designer. I have another interview on Monday, and then I have interviews coming up for UI, and I am actively pursuing trying to bring on board top tier AAA talent when it comes to the artwork, the animation, and all the rest. So I think that as we start talking about, because we've been talking about doing things in parallel. That's going to become more and more and more of not just something we can do, but something that we will be doing on a regular day-to-day basis. Is having, our roadmap is going to get way bigger, way more impressive, way more ambitious as we bring on all these other people. And right now, the top priority for me is probably UX. And then right behind that is UI. And then, of course, I'm hiring on a whole bunch of other people, but those are the two at the top of my list that I'm looking for right now. So for those of you out there listening to the stream, if you know someone in the industry, particularly if they work for a top tier gaming studio or really have their brains wrapped around blockchain and understand all the little nuances, and they're into UX or UI, then send them my way. You can send them to create@splinterlands.com.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know if the audience knows this, but when we're making new products, we have kind of this assembly line that we work on, from ideation to fleshing it out through design, through manufacturing a lot of what you'll see on the front end with the creative team, and then really putting it in place with the development team, and then kind of like a specialized role within the development team for like DevOps and keeping this stuff running. So I don't know. I think we had a pretty good first hour, but if there's anybody that wants to kind of chime in and talk, if I missed anything, I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to speak. Anything we missed?
We're good. I think it's
All right.
exciting. I just want to say I think it's a really exciting times for the community in Splinterlands, because I think we've already been getting announced in a lot of, Bloomberg, Wired. We were mentioning Bloomberg and Wired this last week, which was really exciting. I think what you guys are going to start seeing over the next little bit as we get closer to General Sale and once General Sale launches, just a lot of new blood, which is going to be awesome for the community to really see this thing grow and expand. Just really excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah, like I know I'm a little tired, and I know that like my brain is just filled with all the things that I have to do in like a million different categories now. But I have never had so many different groups in so many different ways so excited for this project. Like little things, I don't know if you guys know the name Brock Pierce, but especially down in Puerto Rico, he's like a pretty beloved character down here. So he gets on stage and he's talking to Michael Turpin, who's another like beloved character, the guy that's doing like Bid Angels, and they're both like talking about my project on stage in front of like a room full of people. And I shouldn't say my project, I should say our game, our ecosystem. And it's just like to have literal billionaires on stage in front of other billionaires talking about what we're doing here I think we're breaking new ground, and I'm pretty excited for that. So you can't I don't know how I could ever recreate the sort of magic of what we've done to get here, but I'm pretty excited. Okay, so now, LibertyLass, could you kindly provide us with that list of questions? God, you're so on top of things. All right.
I'm gonna try to stick around. I haven't been around to answer questions in a while, so I wanted to stick around for a little bit and do some of that.
Yeah, you are always welcome, good sir. There's you that sounds fantastic. So let me. I'm trying to get this on my phone because my computer's being a little bit wonky. But yeah,
Do you want me to read it, Aggie, for you?
No. I got this. It's all
Okay.
right, and it's great because this is really the first questions for Matt here. So can you clarify how the airdrop math will work for Chaos Legion? Can you kind of run through some of that?
Yeah, so I mean, the exact numbers we're gonna release when we announce the airdrop cards. Before the first airdrop happens, which will be at the end of this phase 2 sale in January. Basically, the general math will be the same. We'll just be adding 2 new cards at once. The majority of the cards that are going to be airdropped are going to be legendary. It's just the set is designed that way where, especially with the use of potions, we want to have more legendary cards in the set overall than we do now. So I would expect that at least the first 2 will be legendary cards. And then the chances of getting them will just be based on the chances as if those 2 cards were in pack. And they're, I think there's 16 legendaries in the set now. So with those, there'll be 18. And then there's that chance of getting them. So, but the point is, we'll release the exact numbers and the exact chances and the exact amount of packs you need for a guaranteed legendary. And we'll probably do something, an amount of packs for a guaranteed gold foil, which we hadn't done in the past. We'll announce all that once with the cards that will be airdropped as soon as that's ready.
Sweet. Okay, so Guild DEC, Dark Energy Crystal costs for buildings, are insane now because they were worked out when DEC was at its fixed or pegged rate. Dare we hope land DEC cost will reflect the current value? And I guess I would put that at, when we're considering building upgrades, are we going to use the peg value for DEC, or are we going to use the market value for DEC?
Yeah, I think going forward, we're just going to be using the market value for things, pricing things in dollars and using the market value for things as much as possible, just, because we'll keep running into this situation, right? Initially, we'll design land and we'll put it out at some rate that dark energy crystals are at, and then, who knows, the things could blow up again and they could go up 10x, and then we're back in the same situation. So I think the whole idea of originally, having a fixed rate for dark energy crystals, had its merit and worked well for a while. But yeah, going forward, I think it makes sense just to use market pricing and price things in dollars to make it easier.
Yeah, the one caveat I have to that is that if DEC falls below the soft peg of 0.001 or 1,000 DEC to $1, then we'll honor the market price up until it falls below that, and then we'll accept it at that. Is that your understanding as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. This next question is actually one of my favorites I think I've ever read, because this is just such an in-depth, awesome question. Any news on what have Mothrook, Goathelm, and Tunnelworks Adventures been up to? So these are the companies that came to explore Pretoria. These are from the land sale, and
I think there was a third too. I don't remember the name.
Yep. So I guess Nate there. No. So the original author of that is not here, but are we continuing that storyline? Are the sort of 3 phases of land being considered in the 3 in any shape as we we think through and create the land rollout?
Yeah, we can, and just actually the exploration companies was something that I had come up with, that I had tried to interject with the past writer, and said, hey, I think we could do something like this, because while I was doing the UI, I was trying to think of how we can make the shop pages more flavorful and whatnot. In fact, if for whoever wrote the question, here is, I believe this is the icon. I'll share it in the Discord. This is the icon for the Goat Helm Exploration Company, and that sigil represents. I think it was the first exploration company, because the land sale was phases, and the first phase was we were planning on having each phase be this exploration company. And what's interesting is that the groundwork, even back then, was being laid for some of the storytelling that we have now, meaning that at the time we wanted to give players the feeling, the immersiveness of feeling that they were being presented with this opportunity from an exploration company that was tasked with going and exploring this new land, unknowing to the fact that there were as a hidden agenda from these exploration companies. Because for those of you who have gotten any of the Chaos Legion set, there's some interesting characters in that set, one of which is the Chaos Agents. So Chaos Agents have been infiltrating the kingdoms and governments, have been planning themselves as advisors to the powerful people, and whispering in their ear, hey, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that, and manipulating world events without the common person even realizing that what's going on. So the idea behind the exploration companies is rather interesting, because as they went to Pretoria and they told the investors, they told you guys who are all battle mages in this game, hey, if you invest with us, we'll go get you a little plot of land over in this new area. But that was actually not their primary goal. Their primary goal was to actually go explore these ruins and these supernatural events that they knew were occurring. But of course, they couldn't tell you about it, because then, who wants to buy a haunted house, right? Or land that is cursed by weird voices and everyone's going crazy. So what they told investors is, hey, this land is awesome. Let's go here. Give me some money. I'll get you a plot of land and blah blah blah. And all that holds true. It's really cool land. So don't freak out on me about that. It's not bad real estate. It's good. But but the story behind the exploration companies is that, yeah, there was a little behind the scenes maneuverings going on to get everyone over there. And it's going to come to a climax as we go through this storytelling, because it turns out that all the people who own land in Pretoria are battle mages. And wouldn't you know it, battle mages are going to be pretty important to try to combat the Chaos Legion, which pops out at Ground Zero where you guys bought this land. So it's perfect. It's a perfect stage that's been set for this epic battle between the battle mages and the invaders. So we'll see what happens.
Awesome. All right. Dark energy crystal reward pool size is automatically increased or reduced depending on the value of dark energy crystals. How often does the dark energy crystal pool check the value and change the pool size? Hourly, daily, or only on season start days? Matt?
We publish the current market rate to the Hive blockchain for DEC every 10 minutes, and I think it uses the rate uses the average over the last hour of those price feeds, and in hopefully the not too distant future, that's going to be moved over to the SPS validators as one of their many jobs running the SPS validation software is to publish those price feeds, and it'll take an average of all the price feeds from the validators, very similar to how the Hive price feed works from the witness.
I'm sorry, Matt. Validator is not a term I'm familiar with. I don't really know all this blockchain stuff. I'm just a boomer living in a Gen X body. Can you tell me what a validator node is? Can you tell me what the what you're building and how it kind of like will interact with the ecosystem? What's going to change as the validator system rolls out?
Well, yeah, that's a loaded question. So validator is also a term I'm using instead of Oracle. Initially, we were calling them oracles, but I think at this point, validator is more appropriate. So in the SPS white paper at sps.splinterlands.com, you can read about kind of our high-level initial plans for the Oracle system, which is the same thing that I'm referring to when we talk about validators. But generally, I guess I'll refer to the Hive blockchain on which the game operates. We're building our own delegated proof of stake system as the governance model for the game and for the SPS token. So I'm not going to go into all the details of delegated proof of stake, but you guys can look that up. And that's what we're building, where basically everyone who has SPS staked can vote on validators that they want to be in charge of validating everything that happens in the system. The top voted validators will be the signatories on multi-sig wallets on Hive and Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum and other chains on which SPS is used. And basically they will read transactions from the Hive blockchain. They will maintain the state of everybody's SPS balances, all the transfers, all the staking, all the rewards. They will validate all of the transactions, that everything is done properly. And then when there are proposals in the SPS governance system, they will track those proposals and the voting, and they will actually sign and broadcast the resulting transactions from a proposal. So as just a real quick example, let's say there's a foundation which currently Agrode and I are controlling the funds in, but the fund will ultimately be turned over to the governance system. So they'll have a pool of funds both in Hive accounts and in Binance Smart Chain wallets. And anyone can submit a proposal that says, we'd like to spend 100,000 SPS tokens and send it to this wallet address in order to do something, to pay for something, to get a liquidity pool, whatever someone wants to propose. And the players can vote on it based on their SPS stake. And if the proposal passes, the SPS validators, who are chosen and voted by the community, will actually be required to submit signatures in order to have that transaction be published to the Binance Smart Chain in this example, and have it go through. And the coolest part really is that all this happens without any input or action from Splinterlands, the company, or any of us talking. So even if we were to all disappear and go away, all this would still be able to operate, and SPS balances and staking and rewards would still be able to happen. And you could check your balances and transfer them and claim your rewards. People would still be able to submit proposals. That the transactions would be able to be signed by the signatories, all that stuff. Which is really the whole point of this, is that it's all going to be piece by piece moved to the community to operate 100%. And it's going to take some time. With one piece at a time, it's going to happen. But it's coming together really well. Like I said, I'm expecting the first kind of test net going by the end of the year, early January. And then you'll be able to start using your SPS stake to vote for your validators, and then soon after to submit proposals. So, for people who are new to the blockchain space, like Agrode, I know you're pretending to be, it might be a hard concept to wrap your head around, but you might do some reading about how Hive works and delegated proof of stake. And then I think it'll really click for a lot of people once it's live and operating, and you can kind of see it happening for real. So, hopefully within a month or two at the latest, that'll be the case.
Yeah, I think it's a ridiculously awesome project. And yeah, I'll play possum a little bit on my knowledge of blockchain at this point. But I'm just so proud of what our team is doing. And there's whether it's the content team, whether it's the the marketing team, whether it's the development team, or even like the admins and the support. Like everywhere I look, my thought on like the team and the hires that we make is that good is not good enough. And what I really want in this company is just like exceptional people that are deeply passionate about this product and this community and this mission of bringing people from normie land into crypto. And so far, I have been astounded at just how much we've been able to do that. All right. I guess next question. Let me get back into this. Hey, y'all. Is Splinterlands investing in R&D to make the game interoperable across multiple blockchains? To be able to play Splinterlands games while being in a metaverse that runs on another chain and having the battle chain on different blockchains synchronize with the main battle chain on Hive, or is this type of interoperability something that the Hive developer team should look into?
Yeah, well, I think that actually falls right into what we were just talking about with SPS validators and Oracle. So that's how you kind of achieve the cross-chain, use case, is that you need someone basically sending the messages from one chain to another. What happened on chain A and what happened on chain B, and kind of syncing that up. And that's one of the many pieces of what these new SPS validator software, or Oracle software, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be doing. So we already have that to some degree, where you can transfer your cards and packs to Wax, you can transfer DEC and SPS to Binance Smart Chain, and that's currently something that we're running as a centralized service. But part of this whole project is to wrap that all into the validator system. So the validators are handling the movement of things between different blockchains, and then that could achieve exactly what's being asked in the question. If something is happening in another chain, in another game or application, the voted on validators are the trusted and chosen sources for bringing that information into the current Splinterlands on Hive and vice versa. So the chains can each be up to date with each other.
Awesome. Any update on the Jin Renova? It's receiving a lot of upvotes on the feedback to Splinterlands.com page, and so I believe
Jin Renova on there.
I believe it's a reference to the fact that between one level and the next, she doesn't have any change in her ability set. And
that's typically a mistake. I try to do my best to not miss a level, but I'll check on that one, and we'll see if that warrants an update. I wasn't aware of it though, so that's good.
Do you have plans to add powers display for cards on sale and rent? Maybe I'm new, but it's kind of hard and time consuming to count cards power based on level, BCX, rarity, and packs. I think they mean collection power.
Yeah.
Sometimes I make the mistake of renting too much or too little, so seeing power before renting or buying cards would be a big help. Richard, would you like to field this question and just kind of help our community understand if they have thoughts like that, what should they do? Hardpoint?
Sorry, I was muted. Feedbacks.splinterlands.com, guys. We're actively watching that board and watching your suggestions and picking off from that top of that list and working our way through it as we can. Ideas are great. We love it. We are watching, so please get it out there. Feedback.splinterlands.com, and we will be. That is actually, people have asked me. They're like, what is this? I just upvoting. What we're not gonna probably do. What we will be doing is providing a way to do this in game, and you can use SPS to upvote these ideas and downvote them. So if you guys want to be more involved in the game, SPS is going to be the way to do it and guide us and help us understand where your value should be in these features. So get out there, drop it out there right now, and get your friends and get the other players and talk about it, talk about those updates and get them voted up, because we're actively working on it. I actually have a couple more updates they're going to be dropping in the next week for you guys that are sourced from your guys' feedback, and it's exciting to see those hit. And guess what? A lot of us here are playing the game, and we're seeing this feedback, and we're like, that is a fantastic idea. Let's go do that. And one of our developers picks it up, and even today, I was talking Melon, and we need to get him on here at some point. He's one of our developers. I reached out to him, and I said, hey, there's this feedback. Is there any way we can make this happen? And you know what he told me? He's like, oh, yeah, I already pushed that last night. It's ready to go. And I'm like, I said, you were amazing. What a team we have, or they're all over it. They're actually ahead of me on some things. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
But I'll
He's
say
an
that
awesome dude.
particular suggestion is I agree with. We should 100% get the collection power on the market and rental market detail.
Yeah, it should
I'm
be
not
the kind of
sure, but
thing.
I think I have UI ready for me to review for that. I got to double check the project management boards, but yeah, the UI guys, I do give them tasks from the feedback board as well, so that I can hand off to the devs.
Nice.
Do you guys understand the level of coordination that's happening here between devs and creative and operations and community? Like, if you're a player and you don't understand the degree to which we honor and appreciate the feedback and try to accommodate the requests that you guys have, then you're missing, I think, one of the key links, and like one of the reasons why we host these town halls. We want your feedback. We want you, the player, to break the fourth wall and talk to us, the developers, and say, hey, this is what's important to us. And we want your stake to help determine the order that we go in. So, all right.
I'm looking at the boards now. Yeah, actually, that is in progress as we speak. The UI for the displaying the collection power. So yeah, and that was taken from the feedback board.
So I want to throw Aggie. I want to just take what you said and put some data behind it. So since we launched feedback.splinterlands.com, we've had 278 posts. We've had 680 comments, and we've had over 8,677 votes for those posts. And we've been chewing through some of the top ones right now. I don't know the exact number of ones that we fixed or it's tweaking, but that's, guys, we read these. We look through these. You guys are sparking ideas. You guys are encouraging us in different directions. That's something we're actively watching. It goes into my email box. Now, I rip my email box after this, but guys, we care. That's why we want to know what's going on and help you guys out. I think that's exciting. So just to know, we're watching very closely.
So these are now suggestions and requests. Should we approach Delphi Digital the same way as Axie Infinity did so that they can do proper research on Splinterlands and help us in getting listed on Binance? Matt, I think I'm going to let you answer this one.
Let me? I mean, I don't know. I mean, we could sure approach them or anybody and, talk to anybody who wants to help do research or promote the game. I don't think we can comment on anything about getting listed on any exchanges. Obviously, we would love to get listed on exchanges, and we'll do anything that we can to help that happen.
There you go. All right, can you please remove the surrender button after you submit your cards in a match and are waiting for the opponent to submit their team? I don't see any reason why you would want to surrender if you already submitted your cards.
This is actually already in progress. So it actually will be deployed later this week. We're going to be making some tweaks to that feature, that button.
Please add a rule help channel in Discord. There are many abilities and rule sets in the game. When I have any questions about game rules, I'm not sure where to ask. If there is a channel dedicated to rules, it would be easier for people to search. We have like a rules-based, like a docs.splinterlands.com or something, don't we? Like a static.
We do.
Yeah.
We do have a docs.splinterlands.com. That lists a lot of that.
But that's not necessarily a place where you can go ask for help.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're asking for help. I think they're but that, that's just kind of like general chat. Just go into general chat and ask the people what it is. All right. Opportunity is described as the monsters with the opportunity ability may attack from any position and will target the enemy monster with the lowest health. However, this ability does not apply to range in the tank. So could we have the wording amended, please? I guess.
Well, that's hard because there's so many different interactions and things that cause things to change, and there's no way we can we don't want to have a book for each ability. So there's like general overarching rules that kind of override the abilities. Like, for example, if it's in the first position, it will attack the enemy monster in the first position. Like, that's just kind of a general rule that overrides other rules. I mean, there's other things, like if an enemy monster has taunt, or there might be other things I'm not even thinking of. So I think for the basic descriptions, we just kind of describe simply in a sentence or two what it does, and then part of the game is kind of learning, when there's other rules that apply that override or change those behaviors.
Alrighty. This one is a little bit personal. I suggest hiring experienced card designers. I found Matt was tweaking the new card stats and others. He should focus on development. I think there are people with talent and experience in card games who can design cards professionally. Matt said if there are overpowered chaos cards, he makes a counter for it on Riftwatcher. It'd be better to make a well-balanced and fun card first as much as we can by people who focus on it.
So,
thoughts on that? That stingers me a little.
Well, I know I have a thought on that. I mean,
what's your thought,
before?
Nate?
Yeah, but I mean, my thought is that I think they're dramatically underestimating Matt's ability to design his as he said in previous town halls. He's a competent developer, but his mind is on a whole nother level. We have other developers who can tackle what Matt does. What Matt brings to the table, the reason he's the Hulk on our Avengers team isn't necessarily his proficiency with development. He is, I think what the original writer is referring to is less Matt's ability to game design, which I think the fact that we're probably one of the fastest growing, one of the most successful games in the industry right now is because of Matt and his ability to design. But I think that it speaks more to the fact that there is room for improvement. I agree wholeheartedly that there's room improvement we need to start bringing on closed testers internally. I think that we need a more internal alpha phase testing before we bring it to the Mavericks, and that maybe by the time it goes to public testing, it's more of a stress test and more of a tinkered last minute little tiny stuff. But yeah, I think that's a concern.
No, I definitely want to chime in what Nate said. I think that it's very ironic, this question's. I think we kind of see it as two different things. It's like poking at Matt versus what the real issue is. You're more frustrated there wasn't play time, what Nate said, like more QA time. But then again, when people are like, you guys realize what we just pulled off? I mean, I just look at this and I see that it's so out of context for what just was accomplished by this company. We literally, our servers were on fire. Matt was pulling his hair out trying to go from 10,000 active daily players to 500,000 active daily players in less than 3 months with a team of a couple of people. And we managed to stabilize the system within a couple of weeks. We managed to not only stabilize it, but still get on track and deliver Chaos Legion within a short amount of time. I mean, I don't know what you want to say. And then you can say, like, if you're going to speak about Matt's ability to design cards, we're the top NFT card game in the market right now. What are you talking about? So give Matt a little bit more time, sure. But like, yeah, I don't know about that. I think you are literally talking to one of the top game designers in the NFT market right now. And actually, guys, I work really closely with Matt. I can tell you I have mad respect for him and what's possible. So guys, I told Matt and Aggie this over the last couple of weeks. We were talking about paying people bonuses, who we're hiring, who people should be retaining, and I told them, guys, look, more than anyone else in this company, you two are a fundamental keystone of why we're here, and Nate too. Like the three of you guys are the most valuable assets Splinterlands has had and have right now, and making sure our future is bright and there's lots of opportunity. And sure, we're hiring fast and furious, but you guys are the reason that we've been a success. And I've just really said, losing anyone else on the team right now would be a big deal, but losing you guys would be catastrophic. And I think that's just the player base feels that. We love you guys, and I'm behind you guys, and I'm rooting for you guys. Let's make this happen. Let's keep going. Let's get land, guys. I just want to say this. Like, we talk about land, and there was some memes. I just have to throw this out because I was cracking me up. Because literally, Matt the other night threw out a meme of me being Moses. And I found this out.
I don't know how you could not think that just watching you on the stream.
Well, and the funny thing is when I was looking at it, all I could start thinking was the correlation that Matt, actually, you are Moses leading us into the promised land. And I was like, I'm just Aaron holding your hands up so we can sustain long enough to make it. So guys, like, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be with these guys. I think we have a great team. And you know what, guys? I just want to say one thing. It's a hell of a lot of fun to work with these guys. Because can I tell you one other thing that's just amazing? So many other
You do you. Go ahead.
I was last moment. I'll shut up after this. I just want to think is amazing is, it's fun working here. It's fun working in a gaming and DeFi company. But what these guys are actually doing for the industry is like we literally put over $20 million of value back directly into the players' hands last month at the presale. Like, I love working here just because it's not about us grubbing every single penny out of people's hands. It's literally about us taking care of the community. People are the value, community's the value. And that's one of the reasons I'm excited. Working with great people in a common cause to do something completely different that's just peace, prosperity, and happiness for everybody around us. Sorry, I'm shutting up now.
Nah, it's all right. No. I like, this is when I think about like, how do you get organizations to function? It's all about culture, and the most fundamental piece that I think we have here is people are the value, and it's our goal to treat people well, our goal to honor their time and their commitment to this place, whether they be gamers that are minnows, gamers that are whales, employees, owners, people that pass along ideas, or just whether they stop by briefly or they're here a long time. People are the value, and we have to honor that the best we can. And that I think is the most fundamental part of our culture. And I'm honored and grateful that we found you, Richard, and the way that you not only come with the skill set that again, being good is not good enough. We need people that are exceptional, and I really feel like you fit that mold, because it's like you have the talent to be the dev, you have the talent to lead the team, you have the talent to communicate, and you keep the community in your heart as we make these decisions, and that's what's critical to me. So thanks for doing it.
Thank you, Aggie.
All right, let's do this next one here. So. I think this is along the same line.
I didn't get a chance to say anything, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, Matt, come swinging.
The next one's is basically the same thing. So I guess we'll respond to both of them. So I didn't really take it as a knock against me so much. The one thing about me focusing on development, I think, goes back to this long-standing misconception that this community has that I'm this really great developer. I'd say I'm a mediocre developer. I can do things, but what we're doing is we're hiring fantastic, amazing developers. I didn't really develop much of anything with Chaos Legion launch, and then this was the best launch we've had, ever in the history of Splinterlands. That's not a coincidence that I wasn't involved in that one, as far as the development side for the most part. So. My actual expertise, even in my past jobs, I designed real money, reward-based game economies, sweepstakes games, loyalty games.
Yeah, now you got to define real money, right? Because normally that's pejorative. against crypto? No. I mean real money. But can you just clarify what you mean? Like cash
I
money?
was in charge of game platforms where players could actually win money. It's not just a for fun, free to play game, like where there were actually real prizes. Not gambling. I never worked in like casino games, but we worked in like sweepstakes based games or like social casino type of things. But where you could actually win prizes. So I've had many years of experience in very complicated economy designs, and that's part of also why I just love crypto and DeFi and smart contracts and all this stuff, and being able to apply all of that to a game. Like you can do 10 to 100 times more than you can just do with like traditional games, even where there's real prizes to win. And on card balancing, game balancing, and just like using statistics database approaches to that stuff. It's not just, a lot of people say I played Magic the Gathering for 20 years, so I'm a good card designer. And it's not, playing a game is very different than designing a game. And obviously it's better if you played the game for 20 years that's similar than otherwise. But it's still, just because you were a top, you were a legend Hearthstone player, you were a top Magic the Gathering player, doesn't necessarily mean you would also be able to design balanced cards. But that being said, yeah, I think we do need more. We do need more, game designers and game balance designers, and I think that's probably part of what we should be looking to hire, along with pretty much everything else that we need. So yeah, the plan is really that I'm not going to be focusing on development as much, and I am going to be focusing more on economy design. I mean, the land system economy is going to be so far beyond anything we have in our current game. We're really trying to incorporate all the cool new DeFi things that are coming out and that we can into this like amazing experience that kind of mimics a real life economy as much as possible for creating the new item and spell cards. So yeah, I just want to clear up that misconception of that I should be focusing on development, and I think I probably shouldn't. And then as far as abilities changing for Chaos Legion, soon before the release, we had about a week of, maybe a little less than a week of playtesting on the QA server, and we have to get like a real significant number of games. So like in the past, we've not revealed anything, and we haven't let anyone into the test server, and we did like internal testing and stuff, but you just don't get enough different battles, enough data really to make the appropriate adjustments and decisions on that. So here we kind of opened it up to everybody, or not everybody, sorry, to the Mavericks. And we had the tournament was really helpful. I know it was only a day or so before the launch, but we looked at all that. We looked at all that data. The Xantanist really helped with that, and like we went through everything. So we just waited. We kind of compiled all the feedback, and we waited until the tournament was done and we had everything we needed, and then we went and we made all the changes to the cards that we felt were necessary, and I think that really worked out very well. So it does mean that players saw the original stats, and then those stats changed. But that's what happens when you are seeing stuff on a QA server during playtesting. You get the opportunity to see things before they're launched. But also that's part of playtesting, is that you're going to make changes. And it doesn't really matter whether it happens, shortly before the launch, a week before the launch, a month before the launch. The point is that it gets done in time. So, obviously it's not perfect in the future. I'd love to have more time, I'd love to have more people helping out with that. But it is a hard position to find someone who's good at. Because this game is different than other games out there, and there is like kind of years of history, that goes into designing a lot of these cards. So that's my comment on that one.
All right. I'm going to skip the next question then, because it was like that. I'm a Legionnaire and have staked over $70 in the game. but I'm now unable to open packs, combine cards, rent cards, add more money to the Hive blog because I lack Hive power. Can something be done to stop the game from coming to a halt this way?
Yeah, I mean, it should automatically, if you're trying to do transactions in the game and you don't have enough resource credits. Splinterlands maintains a large amount of Hive power to be able to delegate to players. So if whoever wrote this question is not getting a delegation, it's possible that there's a bug or some other issue. So that's something I'd suggest contacting support about, and we can look into. But yeah, the plan for how this works generally is that Splinterlands will keep a large reserve of Hive power for resource credits that we can delegate out to players, so that players don't ever have to worry about Hive power. We worry about it on their behalf.
All right. I suggest a Chaos Launch Celebration tournament, which only Splinterlands members can play. I really want to watch Aggro versus match and to see how well they play Splinterlands. Hardpoint versus Chatter and Nate versus Crytomancer would be epic matches too. I think that goes to Chatter. Chatter, you want to go build us a team tournament that we can live stream?
Yeah, I'm on it. Leave it to me.
All right, well,
yeah, we should do test server where we all get max level cards or something.
Yes, let's do it.
Oh,
it's actually something you go. It's funny that the community said this. I actually responded. This is something I've actually been talking internally about for the last couple of weeks. Us starting to do internally was have all the team members compete in an internal tournament with max level cards, or we pick some rule set for the tournament, and every month the team would compete against each other and see how we do. Now I know we have in our team some of the best players in this game. So obviously going up against Biz, I don't have a shot in hell, but I do think it's really fun. And I think what's cool about being on this team is we're going to do cool things like that this coming year. I think Kevin said it best. We really want to create a company, not just for developers that have a great time. We want to create a team where every team member feels something special and exciting about being on this team. That's really what, day one, I was like, guys, I love being here. How do we make it so that people get excited? Also, we were talking about this in chat, and Chatter's working on his beard for his business card, and we have this fun idea where we're gonna take Matt Nagy's business cards, which look like game cards right now. They are really fantastic. I will drop one in chat in a little bit so you can see it. But we're going to actually do that for all of our team members as a perk for being on our team. So you join the Splinterlands team, you work with us, you get something that looks like a game card as your business card. To me, that is one of the coolest things you could ever do. Work at a game company where you're like, oh yeah, this is what, and everybody you show it to, it's like, wow, you're somewhere cool. So you're somewhere that does something different. I think that's just expresses the kind of feeling we have about the company.
I'll tell you, it's next level stuff. I think it was Nate that actually designed, maybe even did the art for these. And I'll tell you, when I show people my business card, jaws will drop. People will say that's amazing, and I'm always left with this really smug feeling of we're cooler than you. And I yet to meet anybody. And there's even a scene in American Psycho where he's talking about the opal color and the black text, the way that it's put on there. I can't believe that people like his business card more than mine. It's kind of like a famous little rant scene. But when I see people go nuts over the cards that we have, that's what I don't know. Just people dig it, and it just validates that we're really trying to do everything that we're doing. We just nerd out the most. And Matt's line is we're gamers and we want to build something that we as gamers are proud of. And I don't know. All right, so Chaos Legion cards questions. How many packs do you need for a confirmed airdrop for phase 2 cards? That has not yet been decided. Does the affiliate program count towards purchases bought during the bulk purchase? I referred a friend that is buying 100,000 worth of packs and was wondering. I do.
See no reason why not.
Yeah, I plan to honor the the affiliate. I guess I can try to collect those.
I gotta jump though. I was supposed to do bedtime with my son, going a little late here. I was happy to answer questions for everyone. So I think Agrode and the rest of the team can handle these. But I just want to say thank you, everyone. This is awesome as usual. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Rock on. Thanks for being here, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. Does the affiliate program count? No, I just did that one. How are the bulk purchases going in terms of fund raids and funds pledged? We're up to a couple $1 million, and I think it's going good. I think everything will really start happening in the next 2 weeks, because I mentioned this before, but the last day that will accept new offers is December 28th. So if you want to go get like a bulk sale in, you got to get it in by then. You have to pay by the end of the year. Yes, there are more guilds coming in. There are like a ton of guilds that want to be here, and I think as we start announcing some, more will even like FOMO in. So I'm pretty happy about that. And then he says, "Hey, I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate the team on a very successful Chaos Legion launch, and not just the front end people we interact with on these town hall meetings, but also all the staff that I'm sure work tirelessly in the background." So yeah, thank you for that comment. In my experience as like a professor, when things went well in my class, there wouldn't be anybody that would say anything. Or maybe there might be one kid that would come in and say, "Hey, that went really well." Or like, thanks, Doc. But the second that something went bad, I'd get like 300 emails over the course of 4 days, and just like people would flame nonstop. So I know I try to stay humble with the compliments that come in, but I will tell you they are valued. And like I know, like I'll go and talk to Hardpoint at like Saturday at like an 11 p.m. kind of thing, being like, okay, well, let's go design this and get this going. And it's like, LibertyLass is there taking notes, and we're passing this along, and somebody's responding in the morning. And it's like, people are just passionately working really hard to bring you this stuff. And so I know it's easy to just like take it all for granted, or say, "Hey, I paid for this, so this is what I deserve." But just, we're humans over here too, and we want to take pride in our work, but we also, it's also really important to us to go get that positive feedback too. And like just the little things, like hearing from the community that your experience of the rollout was as good as what we felt it was over here. That's really validating to our experience, and thanks for doing that.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
So when will cards 2 and 3 be revealed? Would be good to know whether decide to load up on phase 2 presale or general sale based on the card stats. Yeah, that's a fair point. We'll try to get that done before they like sell out, or before it's over. So I'll go ping Matt and try to make that happen. All right. Will 2 next airdrops be given to all participants in the second presale? Sort of. Everybody will be eligible. If they buy a pack in the second presale, you are eligible for the second and third airdrop. But it's only after a certain number have been purchased that you get a guaranteed one. But every single pack that you purchase is at least eligible. All right. Can you tell a little bit about the new formats, Wild and Modern? Do they both get an equal pool? Currently thinking yes. What do you think about my assumption on that the Modern will be played more, and so the rewards in Wild will be higher? Yeah, I imagine that there will be fewer players that are able to efficiently compete in Wild. And so even if it's 50-50 in terms of the split, the amount of money available per player, I agree, will be higher in Wild than in Modern. At what quarter of the year is it planned to be released? We talked about this being a January, potentially February kind of thing. Will be Untamed be out of the Modern format when the next series is being released? Yeah, so the next series is tentatively called Rebellion. and when Rebellion comes out, it's just going to be the two most current editions, like core editions, are the ones that'll be in the modern format. So when Rebellion gets here, it'll be Rebellion and Chaos Legion, and Untamed will be kicked out of the modern format, but then it will just go into the wild format. And any other interesting news about the formats you can share? No, Crytomancer is really the dude that this is his baby, and so it's not. He just finished the Chaos Legion launch, and so this question is a little bit triggering to me. It's kind of like, you guys did great, but what have you done for me lately? So let's give that guy a break and be able to go, like, take a breath, enjoy the work that he's done, feel really good about that, and then he can get back to work on getting these formats in. I know it's been 3 days, Ag. How have you not solved this? And so what's the current status of the bulk sale? How many packs have been sold? So I've mentioned that a couple times now. Now, I didn't really leave very much time. I got a little tired, so I got a little soft and just needed to talk about feelings and stuff. So we got 5 minutes left. So I think I'm just going to put the questions that players might want to ask into next week's town hall. So I don't think that it makes sense to do 5 minutes, but what I like to do is just offer people and the team a chance to say something. Actually, LibertyLass, you're getting some praise, so I don't know if you'd like to say anything, but I don't know. She's kind of like the unsung hero here, and I'm clearly biased because she's my partner in life and living together, and we're we're having a kid. It's pretty exciting times. So, but she's like amazing, and she, like I said, she's right there with us as we're like working into the night to try to get this stuff out. So, LibertyLass, I don't know if you want to share anything and just kind of talk about some of what you've done here, or what's important to you, or if you have a mic. I think we have to unmute you.
I did already.
Okay.
She's unmuted if she's available. While she's
Hey.
oh, there she is.
Liberty,
yeah,
are
so,
you there?
yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Do you want to give us a quick introduction of who you are, and then just tell us what you work on, or what you're doing? You're actually like really involved in so much of this.
Yes, I feel very privileged. I see lots of things behind the curtain, and I can tell you it's just as awesome on this side as it is on the other side. I work a lot with Hardpoint, and as part of that, I get to interface with a lot of the other team members, both the directors, the founders, and also just like the other grunts like me who are, again, you don't necessarily see us, but we, as a general rule, really love this game, really love being part of the community, and it's so great to be here. I didn't really give you a detail of what I do. Did you want some of
No,
that?
give me a sense of like what you do here, because like I said, I know you work with Hardpoint a lot, because I hear about this stuff all day long, but the team and everybody else doesn't necessarily know that. So what are you doing, and like how are you're working on a ton of different projects. One of the last ones I saw was like HR. Do you want to kind of talk through me about building like the portal for how we're accepting people and screening, and just kind of a sense of what you built, and how that helps the directors and the team members here?
Absolutely. So I'm sure players have, who have been here for a little while know some of the growing pains we've been going through. Like, for example, when the servers shut down because they were built for, audiences orders of magnitude smaller than what they were now handling. And so we've had a lot of growing pains all over the place. But some of the stuff that you might not see is, Nate's talking about everyone he wants to hire, and all these new positions and who he's interviewing for. Every single person that gets hired onto the team, we don't have a magic way of bringing on awesome people. It takes a lot of legwork. It takes a lot of talking to or going through a bunch of different resumes that definitely don't work, and then you find the 5 that do, and that leads to one interview, and hopefully you bring someone onto the team. So there's a lot of that. When it comes to HR, we're doing, this is a really awesome game company. It's also like a regular company, and we need to make sure that all of our employees have, health insurance, and that they can take time off when they need to, and that they have the right legal compliance, because the last thing we want is to be shut down because we're not doing something right legally. So, the shiny game part is awesome, and in order to run it, it takes a whole bunch of, develop. Just like we don't see the development, we see the shiny art. We don't. You definitely don't see all of the kind of relatively monotonous paperwork that goes on behind the scenes, or all of the hours it takes to find one really awesome Hardpoint team member to add. I don't know how many unhardpoints that you guys had to go through to find him. But yeah, so it's just like there's a lot of projects. We're getting like, company policies up and running, and the growing pains from last July till now have been astronomical. Which is not to say this is not fun, because it's all very fun.
Oh, we lost her.
Did you lose me?
Yeah. Oh, you said it was all fun, or all not
Yep,
fun.
that
I forget which.
The end of it.
Okay.
I just
Excellent.
stopped talking.
All right. Well, I think so. That's awesome. Again, I'm biased, but it just watching you and watching how, like, all the team is sort of like glued together, and we're all functioning, and there's good communication. And I know it's not just happening because of, the different content leads. It's because of the people that are helping to organize this entire, like, ecosystem of, like, employees and decision making and stakeholders and board members, and, like, all of that process is happening. And you and Xembre and a couple others are really, like, holding that together and making it function, and holding all of us accountable, and making sure we hit guidelines or deadlines, and doing our work. And
Can I throw out Aggie real quick?
Yeah, please do.
We have a growing team of executive admins that have been working with us. We're actively hiring. I just wanted to reach out to the community and say, if you guys know anybody that's at the top of their game in the executive admin space, we have several positions we're trying to fill right now, and we love people that love this game. If there's one thing, Aggie says and I say, is that we would love to hire people that are passionate and they're top of their game, and they love this game, they love this community. We would definitely love to interview them. If you go to our splinterlands.breezy.hr site, which we'll drop here in the thread on Discord, that you can see those opportunities there, and you can apply for those positions. We're just looking for really the best to come alongside people like LibertyLass. Like, I'm literally, I wake up the next morning and like 27 projects are done. So these people are just killing it, guys. Like, there is so many unsung heroes. I'll give a shout out to Claiborne. Really has been just killing it. He helps us with our social media, but he's also been helping us with our payroll and just helping everybody get paid smoothly. So, like, there's just people like him that are just working their butts off to make sure everything is happening smoothly and orderly, so that we have some content people and developers that can sit down there and focus on the game, and they don't have to worry about whether they're going to have money, to eat next week. So that's really important for us. Part of that, having a big functioning team, is having every area smooth and easy. So that's really what our priority is. But definitely check that out, guys. We got definitely a lot of openings out there. If you know really good people, we're looking for really good people to join this team. And I like to say that we're looking to stack the deck with the best.
Yeah. What we're looking for is exceptional, and I can't do enough with teams that aren't, like, just really passionate and hardworking and carry this community in their heart. And that's what I'm looking for more than anything else. So, if you love this community and you're a hard worker and you feel like, this play to earn space is a calling, then hopefully this is we'll find a good fit, or as we're doing this. But I think that's going to bring us to a close. I know we only had 5 minutes, but I get tonight was sort of a soft night for me, just because I've been tired, but I just really love our community. I really love our game. I work as hard as I possibly can to bring as much value back to our community as possible. And I know Matt and Hardpoint and Chatter and really all, like, honestly, our whole team has just really embraced that concept of people are the value, and we gotta go help our community. It's both paying it forward, it's paying it back, and it's an absolute pleasure to be able to do this. What a freaking gift. So thank you guys. Please keep, I guess if I have an ask for the community, one of the things that I don't think that we do well enough, we're pretty good on Hive and blogging on Hive and awareness on Hive, but one of the things that we can all do to help is just spread the word on social media. We can't be the ones that do all of this, meaning like Splinterlands. The marketing, like, where is the marketing effort? We all collectively are the marketing effort. So if you like a card, if you like a battle, if you like a plan, if you like the roadmap, if you like the economics, if you like the community, if any of these stories matter to you, if you like the lore, whatever, some part of this is going to resonate with you. And my ask is that you share it with the community, not just within the community, but help us bring more people in. We ourselves, this group, we have to be the ones. You don't wait just for the company to do something. We do, but don't just wait for us. We all go to the same moon, guys. So my constant ask is share your story, share your journey, share this with your friends and family, and let's go make this the world's biggest play to earn game. And as we do that, I just think of, like, how are communities or games like EA ever going to compete? We're currently giving out hundreds of thousands of dollars of prizes per day. What happens when we get to millions? How will any game on the planet stand in the way of this community? And I don't see how play to learn, and specifically this team, this company, and this community, I don't understand how we won't reach anything other than greatness. And that's where I think we're headed, and I'm really awfully proud of that. So anyways, that's what I got for tonight. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much for being on the stream, for listening to us. And Chatter has a quick announcement, and then we're going to wrap up.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for everyone for tuning in. And just kind of before we go here, we're going to be giving away 10 Chaos Legion packs too. So I'll be dropping the links in all of our socials. The competition will run for 30 minutes, and then kind of after that, I'll send the packs out to everyone at the end of the night.
Alrighty. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of our community. Thanks for helping build this game. And if you have questions you want to add, you can go toss that in for next time. Thanks all. Bye.
Hi, guys.